50 to 100 of your cashiers could do from $10 to $25 a month for 12 months, and you could be in a house.
Yeah.
With your daughter, with your grandson.
Started with the prayer, or what?
Yeah, I'm going to let the Conscious Coach lead us in prayer.
All right. Let's join hands. Let's join hands. Let's join hands.
Oh, Father God, we thank you for a beautiful day that we've never seen before, God. We thank you for an opportunity to be able to come together, God, and just be a part of the plan that you have already laid out. So, God, I pray right now that the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart are acceptable in your sight. You are our strength. You are our Redeemer. God, I pray right now that we will continue to do your work, God, that we will continuously move out of the way so that your will can be done. And I pray right now that this meeting is effective, Lord God, and everything we say and do, let it be pleasing to you. Give us the wisdom to be able to know what it is, how you want us to execute your plan. Forgive us for any sins that we may have committed, Lord God, but we pray right now that you will continue to strengthen us and make us bold in every area of our lives. And it's in Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen.
All righty.
Hello, everybody out there in the world. It's the homie kNOWCASH, the one and only. If there's another, he's the phony, because you already know me, but you might not know these two people right here. So I'm going to sit back, and we got a little meeting going on. I'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll proceed accordingly. You first.
Ladies first.
Well, good morning. My name is Sonyetta Cooper, and I am the director of the PD Camp Emergency Shelter, and I am also a life coach known as the Conscious Coach, and we are here today to talk with Mr. kNOWCASH about the next level of his life.
Brian Braddock, Executive Director of the House of Hope, and friend of kNOWCASH Beyond, and just working with Ms. Cooper to figure out a plan and a path to transition Beyond to his own place, to a level of independence as we work towards total independence. So excited about where we are so far,
I'm excited as well.
And what's going on, and just looking to see how we can collaborate for the next step.
Glad to have y'all on board.
Thank you.
All right.
So, Beyond, you and I have had a couple of conversations about moving forward. We've talked about what happens next, and so now we're at the point of next. Once a person has been with us for 90 days, we are coming up on your 90 days, we start talking about transitioning. So in order to transition, you will need to be working on, you need to find a place that's affordable. Once you find that place, you talk with the landlord, and if you do your application and then you are approved for this place, then you get something from the landlord that shows your first month's rent and deposit, and you bring it back into the office. You then meet with our case manager, Miss Deanna, and then once you meet with her, she'll sit down and do an application on you to get you approved for us to be able to pay that first month's rent and deposit, and we will also purchase furniture for your new place. And so the steps for you to do that is that you have to figure out what is affordable for you. And so what is affordable is, you can look at different listing of housing. There are several websites that have affordable housing on it. And then we know some property owners who have their own property that we kind of work with.
Plus, you was telling me about first-time owners something like that, too.
Well, yeah, that's a little more lengthy process. The first-time owners program is through the city of Florence. And so that's something that you would talk to them about, and then they will be able to work with you to kind of see where your credit is. Once it gets to a certain place, then they can bring you in and start having meetings with you. And if it's not where it needs to be, they will put you through classes and workshops, and then allow you to come to different trainings.
So about a 690.
Well, you are well aware.
Credit Karma tells me 690, but people say at Credit Karma it's probably about 5 to 10 points higher on the real joint. So I'm
Right.
probably right around about a 700.
Well, you can, once you transition out, if that's what you decide that you want to do, then you could talk with the city of Florence, and that might work for you. And because it's better to be a homeowner if you could do that, because a lot of times those of us that are paying rent are paying more. Same
Paying
thing we
enough
can pay
for
for a mortgage.
that's right, absolutely.
So that's something that you can look at for a future goal. But right now, we're kind of going to hone in on
Just going to
getting
make
you-
the transition
yeah,
first. Okay,
into your
gotcha.
transition, because right now we're ready for you to transition from being homeless to being self-sufficient. And I know that your fans want to see this. I know
Absolutely.
your cashiers and your cashiers would love to see you, this part of your story come to pass, because this is what the prayers are about.
You're right.
And so this is what you've been thriving for. This is what you want to get past. This has been your platform, but it's not going to stop your story. Your story is going to continue on, because those that are homeless will be able to see, if he did it, then I can do it.
So can I. Because
Yeah.
I ain't no better than you, and I tell y'all that all the time.
Yeah, so and then yesterday you and I had a conversation, and we were talking about where you are right now, and as your coach and friend, I was kind of talking to you about your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
What people see, like people can look at you, Brian, and think that you got it all together. And I'll tell people in a heartbeat, listen,
I don't know what that feels like, but you
Mm-hmm.
tell me.
well, here's a confession. I do not have it all together. I'm
you
like-
don't look like what you're going through.
I know that's right.
Don't you start preaching in here, Brian. And I tell people all the time, thank God I don't look like what I've been through or what I'm going through, but you'll never be able to see it, because I just pray that God will give me the strength to be able to do what He's called me to do, regardless of what's going on in my life. But at the end of the day, you've got to have peace in your personal life in order for God to help you make the rest of your life better. It's like A, B, C, D. You can't get to D without A, B, and C. And so if you deal with the A, the B, the C, and then you get to the D, it works out so much better. So I know you've got your kids, you've got your grandson,
and they just moved back from Atlanta.
They just
good Lord
moved
have
back
mercy.
from Atlanta, so this is going to be a part of the place that you find to stay. Because
Absolutely.
it would be a difference if it's just you and you can get a 1-bedroom, versus now if you're taking your daughter and her son with you, then you're going to have to find something a little bit bigger. And
Absolutely.
then, it could either be an apartment, it could be a house, but I always tell anybody that comes through this door, put yourself in a position that you don't have to come back here.
Mm.
Don't look at a place and say, oh, that's not for me. Oh, that's in a bad neighborhood. Oh, no, I would never live there. Because at the end of the day, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do what you got to do. If you can afford something better, get something better. But if you can't, don't.
Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, keep yourself at a place that you're not struggling. Because people say, oh, I'm blessed. I got a Mercedes. I'm blessed. But I'm working 5 jobs to keep it. Well, that's not a blessing.
No, it's not.
Because the blessings from God come without sorrow. So that means if He blesses me, I'm not going to have to struggle to keep it.
That's right.
So that means that if I'm faithful over the little, that's when He's going to make me rule
Bless you
over
with
much.
many. That's right.
So
That's
you
right.
gotta start somewhere. So tell me what you see in this plan, kind of like what I just talked about, and if you got any questions.
Well, I agree with everything that you're saying. It's just a matter of us, kind of sitting down, evaluating what I got going on, what I got coming in, and then you and me kind of figuring, going and looking, seeing what we can.
What is your what's your bring home at the shelter for the month? Because that's the most stable income that you have.
That's right, absolutely. Okay, so I'll say my
What do
An
you bring
estimate-
home
an
every
estimate-
2 weeks?
it'll be about I'd say about $250 every 2 weeks. That's the estimate. It could be, and that's bringing
Because you're
home.
working, what, 20 hours a
I'm
week?
working 2 days. I work Friday night, Saturday night. So it's like
Friday night,
20
Saturday
something
night.
hours.
It should be. I would think it'd be more than that. But so, well, after taxes.
That's what I'm saying. It could be about 260 something or something. I just say 250, just like around.
So you got
ballpark figure.
500 guaranteed income.
Guaranteed coming in a month.
Right.
And then my YouTube, it's nothing guaranteed with that. But if we're gonna say guarantee, I'll say maybe like a guaranteed 350, 400. because it never really goes lower than that, not too much lower than that. But right now it's at around about 500 or something.
So what I would say, Sonyetta, is that we look to find something based on what you're guaranteed, and that you use that shelter income that you're making to provide you shelter. Because we could probably find a studio where water would be included, that kind of stuff around that amount. Now I know that's not going to get you where you want to be in terms of gorgeous and chosen, but at least you gotta start there. You know what I mean? And we gotta build up to that. Because if you want to find a place where you're going to be a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, you're going to be looking at a minimum of $800 to $1,200 a month.
For 2 bedrooms, for real?
For 2-bedroom and a bath. If you're looking at an apartment or a house, I mean, you tell me, Sonia, what you're seeing out there in the market.
Well, there are.
Close that door for us.
Yeah. Now there are some apartments that may fall around. I'll say the lowest will be about $700.
That's what I was thinking.
About $700, and then there are some mobile homes. I know a private mobile home owner who came in yesterday, and she says that she has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath mobile home for about $675.
Now I know someone too. Was it Angela?
No, this person's name is Gloria.
Okay.
And so she has them it's a mobile home park right down here on what's this? Our street right here.
Jared?
After you go
National
down the
Cemetery?
National Cemetery. It's a little trailer park over to the side. She's got about 4 or 5 trailers over there that she owns herself. And so she said that she's got some that's coming available, and I've already talked to her about, we've got some people here who we could possibly start collaborating together. So
How are that? Well, the other thing we got to look at is how they're going to qualify you.
Cool.
Because they're going to qualify
Brett
you.
too. Don't leave Brett out. We don't know what Brett got going on too, being a realtor.
Well, I just know what I know from real estate is to qualify you, they're going to want your income. They're going to want the rent to be about 40 to 50% of your guaranteed income.
they're going to want you to be making about your rent at least 2 or 3 times the amount of your rent.
Right, and it's got to be verifiable. You're going to have to verify that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would put you're going to have to verify income of around $2,000 a month.
To kind of get in specific places. But dealing with private owners, it's a little different because they may not have the same restrictions as going through real estate agents. And also, some people do background checks. If you're, how old is Gorgeous?
18.
Okay. Well, then that's another adult, and then you got to look at.
And of course, she's gonna be working.
Where's she staying at now?
She's getting a room at my mama's house because I told my mama I agreed to give her a certain amount of money for her to be there.
So that's another bill that you're gonna have.
Well, until I get my own, then she'll get out of my mama's house and I don't have to pay that. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. So we're looking at the options, but for the next week or so, your job is going to be to find a place so that we can start your process. Excuse me, specifically because here at the shelter, of course, we've got our guidelines and rules and regulations for, the amount of time that people are here. And then we've got money from a specific grant that we have to spend before December.
Right, yeah.
So they're like, okay, help the people find a place,
So
tell
we
the
can get
people
this
so we
job
can
done.
spend this
That's right.
money and get them stable. And that's what I try to tell people. Don't come here and get comfortable. Yes, I know it feels like the Taj Mahal. I know. I understand. It feels like you're at the Grand Hilton Vacation Hotel. And all the amenities. And, we got concierge services. We've got parking. We've got everything.
yeah.
Jacuzzi pool.
Come on.
All
Well,
of that.
yeah, we got it
All
all
that
laid
full
up. Yeah.
Continental
buffet.
breakfast.
Yes.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner continental. And we got an open bar. Juice and
Yo,
water.
they just lying, yo. They lying now.
In my mind. And in some people's mind when they come here, because we're different. Like Brian is a director of a shelter. our shelters are very different, but it's so great that we're working together in the community, because we get people, who recycle themselves through our shelter. So they'll call us from Bryan Shelter and they'll say, hey, I got a room. I'm over here at this shelter, and my time is about up. But they told me to call you guys to get a space, and I'm like, why would they tell you to call us to get a space if you already have a space? And because our shelter, you're here, you can stay here for 90 days. So you have a room and you have a space that you're in for 90 days. And so when you have to go to Bryan Shelter, it's an emergency. We're all emergency shelters, but we have emergency beds here also, where if somebody's coming off the street, we can give them a bed immediately. If it's the weekend and somebody calls and say, hey, I've got somebody that's homeless on the weekend, they need a bed, and we have where we can let them stay for the weekend. We have a 72-hour bed that we can put them in. But then we have another program that's for 90 days. And so people who actually come in our door, we tell them in the beginning, you have 90 days to either get it right or get it wrong.
That's right.
And so people come in and we tell them, when you come in, hit the ground running. If you're working already, then it shouldn't be hard for you to say, I'm ready to move. I want to be on my own. I don't want to be homeless anymore. I want to be stable. I want my own place. I want to be able to not go to sleep and hear adult men snoring at night.
Come
I
on,
want to be
somebody.
able to go to sleep
Black.
and not...
No.
You gonna edit that out?
No. He know. He already know. Good Lord. He riding the motorcycles at night.
I don't want to wake up in the morning and my Fruit Loops are missing. I don't want to wake
Get
up,
that dude name.
And my
Fruity
cell
Pebbles.
phone. My cell phone is missing.
Yeah,
I don't want to leave to go take a shower and my money is missing out of my
The
purse.
same things happen. I thought you were working over my shoulder.
No, sir. No, sir. Oh, my
Listen, boy, it was
goodness.
my Fruity Pebbles that it was in. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to
Let
tell
me
you.
ask you this, Sonyetta.
Yes.
Let's say me and Beyond, we come in here next Monday and we say, hey, we found a studio apartment. It's $500 a month, and they're ready to go, and we can sign the lease. What do you need in terms of verification? Is that all that you need in terms of verification?
Yeah. If he gets approved, if he does the application and he's approved, all we need from him.
When you say he does the application, your application or their
Their
application?
application.
Their application.
Yeah, because
okay.
we need from the landlord something on their letterhead with the first month's rent and deposit.
Right.
Once he does that, we make an appointment with Ms. D, and he has to start gathering up his information, which is proof of his income. So if your YouTube channel is your income, you can bring in bank statements to show that.
So is there a qualifying process for you in that program also? For instance, let's say, so we find a place that's $500 a month. He's making $500 a month at the shelter, plus he's averaging his YouTube money. Is there a dequalifying factor that could come in after that? Is it just him finding the place and being able to pay the amount, or are you going to require that his income be a certain percentage of that?
Right.
What's the qualification process after that?
Oh yeah, he's going to have to approve that he can afford it, and so
And what does that mean?
showing steady income.
Okay.
So you're at the shelter, that's check stubs. A month worth of check stubs.
Right.
So if he gets every 2 weeks, then that's four check stubs.
But does it have to be steady income? But does it have to be steady income at any kind of percentage or whatnot? Just
Just
steady
steady
income.
Just
income.
that
enough
he
to
can
pay that rent.
Right. Enough to pay the rent, not enough to pay the rent and.
Well, and that's just it. We're going to look at, okay, say you're making $650, but you find something for $500. We're not going to move you into that, because that $150 is not going to pay your light bill. You're not going to be able to get groceries. You're not going to be able to handle whatever other, so we don't want to set you up for failure. So we're going to look at a budget sheet, and we're going to write down what do you foresee your bills are going to be, and then we're going to look at the qualifying factor of if your take home is less than what you got to pay out, then we can approve this.
So it's got a okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but we'll just do
Well,
that.
roughly,
off
I
the
bring in
budget.
like roughly about $1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month. Okay.
So if it's
So
5 or 6,
what are you gonna base his the only thing that you don't have car payments, you don't have insurance. All you got, you're gonna have your rent and your electric and your food. I mean, and you got your credit card bill. What about cell phone? No cell phone bill?
as of the moment, no.
Okay. So What does he need to cut out for food? Is there like a formula?
No, he would put down what he feels like he's going to be paying per month for food.
Okay.
There's an average amount. We don't want you to say you're going to be spending $500 a month or $1,000 a month, and that's not what.
Well, I
it
just
is.
told you I know how to fast. I know how to not eat. So we can.
So I'm just
that,
saying,
yeah.
is $1,000 a month income in a $500 place? Does that fit into
that does. He would
schedule?
qualify.
Okay. And then once he qualifies, so you find a place, you sign the lease, you come in and you meet. Is that your door?
Just one moment, please. Go ahead, Brian. Come in.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. All the schools are dismissing today at 11:10. Florence doesn't have any water for the kids, so
Our water was slowing down this morning. Yeah, Miss Regita texted me earlier and said it seems like the water is about to stop.
Is that water just for the kids at school or water for the people
That's
in the
Florence
residence?
County.
That's Florence County.
So we don't have any water.
I can go check
Yeah, go check. Ask
Please
Miss
check.
Regita
Thank you
has
very
a stop
kindly.
because I'm gonna have to leave in about 5 minutes.
to go get your baby.
Thank you very kindly.
All right. All right, so that's just all in the life of living
No
in it.
water.
Yeah.
I need to, I'm gonna.
Yeah, go ahead,
I'll
Brian.
text him in a minute to check
Yeah.
the water.
Yeah, so I mean, but Regita texted me this morning. That's a lady who is over our women's shelter. She said feels like the water's about to stop, but I had already figured that this was going to happen eventually because of what's going on with the flooding
Yeah.
and everything that's happening. And this is just a part of what we're dealing with every day in the life of shelters, and the storm just came
Natural
through.
disasters, Hurricane
It's
Florence.
just it's so much that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So beyond base, and what Brian I think was about to ask me is what's the next step. Once you come in and you meet with the case manager, which you should have caught him on camera. I know you'll get it.
I know that's right. We'll get it now. We're
Yeah.
gonna get it.
You sit down and you meet with Dee, and she does our application. We have a system that we use, and we put all your information in, and we have to print out the application, and then we submit it to our main office, and then they go through to make sure all of our I's are dotted, all of our T's are crossed. We have all the information in. We verify homelessness because you were referred to us by House of Hope. So everything that we need is all on paper, and once we submit that application, we have all the documentation, have everything that we need from you, they approve it, and then we cut the check to the landlord. Now most don't allow you to sign the lease until they get their funding, but
Right.
with this application we can print out a voucher, which is a promise to pay. And so if we print out that voucher, that's basically saying this is the amount we're going to pay, and if this happens before the 1st, you might be able to move in. Once they sign that voucher, that's pretty much like signing the check.
So
And
is that like a 5 business day or 10 business day kind of process?
the process could be 5 to 10, depends on if Ms. D says beyond, I need this, and this. And he brings in this. I gotta get this. I gotta get this. That's what can prolong it.
And this, and this would be the lease, his check stubs, his deposit slips from his YouTube money.
And the case manager has a checklist of everything that he's going to need to bring in after he meets with her that first time.
Not to mention income tax this time coming up around the time. Why be
Yeah.
filing income tax?
But we're not even counting that right now. But that's going to help.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna help.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
So, what about in terms of furniture and things like that? Is there a certain list of items that you provide, or is it?
Yeah, the items that we provide, say, Beyond is moving in, and if his daughter is on his lease, then we would provide a queen size bed for him. We would provide the bed, the mattresses, the frame and headboard. There would be the big dresser with the mirror, and then also for if we buy extra bed, and it would be like a single bed. So we would get a single bed for his daughter. And then we would be able to provide a living room, couch, love seat, and a dining room table with 4 chairs.
And what's the time frame process on that?
We're doing the furniture application along with his application. So he may move, he may get the approval to move in, and by the next week his furniture will be delivered.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because we purchase normally from High Point. I have to get 3 quotes. But High Point normally has furniture on hand, and they always give me the best prices.
And so a reasonable goal would be a move-in of like November 1st. Could he stay, if he's in that part of the process?
If we're in the process of getting his application done, he will be allowed to be here. But as long as we're already started that process, once the 90 days is up, as long as we started that process, that's great. And I say that because people will come in and then they don't do anything. They won't work. They won't, do the program. Or if they're working, they're not doing their part to make sure that when their 90 days is up, they're prepping to move, and then they'll come in around, it's maybe about 75th day or 85th day, and oh, Miss Cooper, I'm about to start working, or can you give me a list of houses? Which this is what we talk about. We have meetings. We meet with everyone every month, and we talk about what the process is. And my motto is I'm not going to babysit adults. We give you a toolbox. And we're putting your tools in. So it's time for you to get your hammer out. It's time for you to get your screwdriver out. You've got to want to build your life. And so if you're doing the things, you don't even have to be here for 90 days. We've had people that came in here and they were gone in 30 days.
Right.
Why? Because when they came in, their goal was, I want to get my own place, and this is the place for me to be able to do it. They're going to help me get on my feet. I'm ready to do it now.
Let me ask you this, because this would be kind of unique in terms of beyond situation. If we find a place, let's say the place is $1,200 a month, and then the water and bills and everything is like $1,500 a month for him, Gorgeous, and Chosen, and he shows that he's got income from the shelter of approximately $500 a month. He's got YouTube earnings of, let's say, $300 to $500 a month. Could he show support in terms of, let's say, 100 of his 200,000 cashiers decide that they want to chip in $20 a month, for a period of time, and
through like a Patreon account.
Account. Could that be a possible income that he could show, and how would you verify that?
We would need something in writing, notarized. Because say you decided to say, hey, Beyond, I believe in you, and I'm going to give you $250 a month for the next 6 months to make sure.
Idea, Brian.
Hypothetically speaking.
Look, he talking about.
Yeah. So say you had a friend that says, I'm going to, give you $250 a month for the next couple of months. That's income. A notarized letter showing support. This happened before. We've had people who've lived here and they didn't make enough, but they've had a family member or a friend that have pledged. But it has to be written. It has to be a letter from them, and it has to be notarized in order for us to add it in as a legal document.
Okay. So what I would say is, let's meet with Brett. Let's find a place. And just do it like a mathematical formula. Find a place that's going to meet the needs of you, Gorgeous, and Chosen. Figure out what the budget's going to be. Go ahead and start the What starts the process? Does the lease start the process? Does the place start the process?
Yeah, the letter from the landlord.
The letter from the landlord
first
starts the
month's
process.
rent.
Okay. So let's do that, and then let's do the math. Let's take what you're making, what you're going to make, what Gorgeous could contribute. Now one of the things, and I'm sure that Gorgeous she may be, apprehensive about this. There's a lot of assistance that she could get.
Oh, most definitely.
And I would say that we have Gorgeous meet with Sonyetta to get that assistance.
Absolutely. And
I'll go ahead and say, just so that there's no, whatever with her. I'm a recovering drug addict, and there were periods of time in my life where I was working, but I could not support the needs of my wife and my 3 children. And actually, when I was working at the addictions facility in Illinois that I was working at, we received government assistance for food and for health care.
Yes.
And it was necessary to allow me to transition, because I had lost everything in my addiction.
Yes.
And it's not something that we're proud of, and it's something that my wife, I know that she would struggle, with people knowing that, but people do need to know that, because I didn't get where I am today on my
hop, skip, and a jump.
It took all of my efforts. It took family support. It took mentor support, but it also took correctively using government programs that are available,
Right.
and
I mean,
you have
hell,
to-
I would have
and for a
food
lot of people, the people that need to get food assistance and healthcare assistance to make that transition, the ones who use it appropriately
Right.
usually pride's the issue that keeps them from doing it. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
and
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
You know, so I'm just saying that if we take that, if Beyond is able to get some food assistance, if I know Gorgeous,
I can't. That's
get,
what I was about to tell you.
you
'cause
can't
I got,
because you make
I got
too
a
much.
no, not I make too much. I could if I didn't have a drug charge.
Oh yeah, I got
Yeah.
the same thing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
here in
so-
Florence they don't let you get it with a drug charge, but other states they'll let you.
Right.
Get it.
but Gorgeous could and
She
stuff
could.
like that.
That's right.
So
And-
we need to make sure that
Yeah.
we're
Factoring
getting-
in all of that.
factoring that stuff in.
And I'm gonna tell you, Brian. You know, for me, Beyond and I kind of, I guess this is our second week of our meeting.
That's right. We had
Because
a
he
one
introduced
prior.
me to his fan zone last week. But I myself was a single mom on the system. When I was younger, I was by myself. I had 3 kids, and I was pretty much homeless because I was sleeping on the couches of my family members. Where I'd moved to Atlanta for a while and ended up living with a family member who invited me to come to her 6-bedroom house, and I didn't realize it was a boarding house in Atlanta, and it was strippers that lived in this boarding house. It was drug addicts that lived in there, and this family member was on drugs really bad, and I didn't know anything about it, and I was pregnant. But I ended up moving back home and getting on assistance to get an apartment through Housing Authority, and then I also was receiving assistance. But when I was going to my meetings with my case manager, I always had a briefcase, and there was nothing in it. And he would always say, "Well, why are you carrying a briefcase?" I said, "Because I want to look like where I'm going, not where I'm at."
I know that's right.
And so I became the first recipient of the Walker E. Solomon Welfare to Work program, where I got a job at DSS in Medicaid straight off of the system. So I know that if you use the system for what it's needed for, and that's to assist you to get to another level in life, and it meant the world to me when I was able to say that I'm no longer receiving assistance, because now I'm working and now I have a job. And
But you
after
utilized it.
That's right.
Yes,
I mean,
and
if I
so-
could get them food stamps, man, I'd be utilizing them too. I'm just,
Well, we just
ain't no
need to-
pride
we
in
need
my
to
no
get-
shame in my game.
We need to get Gorgeous, you know, part of the process. But all right, so we'll start looking for a place. I think that I feel like that if people knew that there was a collaborative effort, you know, and they from people that they could verify and trust, you know what I mean, and they saw, you know, what steps that that Beyond's making. And if we showed them a precise way where they could help bridge the gap and have a huge impact, because I mean, what you're putting on the table is thousands of dollars worth of benefit if we could just get there, you know. So we'll get with Brett and find a place and basically just lay out the math and give people an opportunity that have wanted an opportunity to have a visible, legitimate impact in Beyond situation and No Cash's situation,
Excuse me.
opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. As well as my platform of cashiers and cashiers, they're actually waiting for this moment to know that something is
A real way to
solidified.
do it.
Yeah, validated or whatever. So we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's, y'all. We're trying to connect this thing, and
Well, it'd be so awesome, man, that you know, we met on December
12. I reached out
12.
to you. Well, we didn't meet
12,
then,
12.
but I left you that message on 12/12.
12.
Holla at your boy.
12/12.
12/12.
You know, so I have a personal goal. I told Beyond that I would reach out to my people, the people that help me, and Sonyetta's
His
one
help
of them.
source, his resources.
You know,
and
my
things of that
resources, Sonyetta's one of them. And I just have a personal goal to see you, you know, in a place, you know, in December, by 12/12, to see you go from being homeless to housed in 1 year. I mean, that'd just be
That'd be big.
amazing.
That'd be
It'd
big.
be amazing. And you know, and it's going to take everyone's help to do so. And you've done a lot in this year, but it's a big jump, you know. And it takes a hand up.
It takes support, man. You know, and looking around as far as immediate people or family members, man, I don't really have the support. And sometimes that's what discourages me.
Well, I think we're only going to be off probably $1,000, $1,200. You know, of being able to
to make it happen.
Yeah, so I mean, you divide that out by 20 or 30 people, you know, and people could really, and if you had any people who wanted to help in a significant way, this would be, I mean, we could even set it up where, you know, it could even go paid directly towards certain things. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, like if you all out were willing to do something that you wanted to pay specifically for something other than just giving your money, you're saying that's what you're saying.
Right,
they can
yeah,
do that.
so
Okay.
all right. Well, hey, I know what we need to do. Checking on that water situation. I'm checking on my water situation.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Tell me checking on that water situation. y'all.
Definitely,
That's
yeah.
the executive
I've-
director's
I've
in
been
them right
having
there
text
now.
messages come back,
All right.
come through. Left.
We can't even have a decent meeting because they're executive directing and things. I'm just trying to tell you that's what they do.
Well, Sonyetta, I appreciate it. I appreciate what y'all do. You know, I mean, the resources that you have are huge.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about seeing Beyond being able to tap into that and us work to get him to the next level and that's what people have been waiting to see for years and years.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, to do it on your own, it's just I'm a product of it. Like I said, in my drug addiction, I got arrested. I ended up with 4 felonies, and I lost everything,
Yeah.
every single thing. And you wake up one day and you're 33 years old, and you got 4 felonies, and you're married and you got 3 children, and you don't have a job. And it took years. It took me 10 years before I could buy a house again.
You said 33 years old. That's crazy. That's when I came home from prison to face my adversities.
So I'm just, and that's how old Jesus was
And that's what I was about to say.
When he
did
died,
his,
when he did his
his
transition.
ministry.
That's right.
So I'm just saying, Beyond, it took 10 years for me to own a house again. And in those 10 years, there was so much help and work and assistance, and I was giving it 110%. But people just don't realize that
That's it.
when you find yourself at that level in life, it's hard to overcome.
It
And what
is.
you're offering, so you're offering deposit and first month's rent.
Mm-hmm.
What about connections and utilities? That would be on
Yeah,
Beyond.
that will be on him, and then
So-
we let them know that there's other agencies,
Mhm.
like the Lighthouse
Yeah,
Ministries,
help with that.
and you know, to be able to assist Salvation Army. That's why
Queen, what about where Queen work at?
Well, that's our main office, and we don't have money for deposits.
Gotcha.
Now, if you have a light bill and you need help
That's
with the
what I'm
light
talking
bill,
about,
then we
yeah.
can assist with
Is there a maximum amount for rent?
that. No, if you can afford it, there's not a maximum
Okay,
amount.
just the
Now,
affordability of it.
for if you're making too much, you could disqualify for the
Right.
program if you're
Gotcha.
making too much.
But that's
and
not
how
me.
long?
That's not me.
You know, definitely
I'm not even making enough.
So would he have to show guaranteed income for 6 months or 12 months? The term of the lease.
No, to move in. That's
Just-
when we need the income showing that
Okay.
this is
Well,
what
that
you're
month.
making.
Mhm.
Right.
Now, and just say when you leave, because we continue to follow up with you for the next 6 months.
Mhm.
And if you fall on hard times, we can assist you at least 3 times with your rent.
Okay.
And if your light bill gets behind, we can help you pay it.
Well, I think in terms of cashiers and supporters, we would want to solidify 6 to 12 months.
Right.
You know, of that subsidized support with what you're making. You know,
Absolutely.
just to make sure that you don't fall. There's nothing worse than getting all the way there.
Yeah.
And
then
when you fall back,
Yeah.
it feels like it's twice as hard.
It
to
is,
get-
man.
Because
It
your
is.
hope
Yes.
and your faith
You're
and your
crushed, you're
belief
discouraged.
that it's
Yeah.
going to happen
Yeah. Yeah.
dwindles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, praise the Lord. Well, we'll start looking for a place and hopefully find that pretty soon and go ahead and get the ball rolling.
I appreciate y'all, man.
No, we appreciate
I think
you.
y'all might love me. Come on, bring it on in. Let's get a people. Bring it on in. These my people right here. Y'all feel me? And y'all my people too, man. We just gonna put it all together and make it all work, man. I think it makes sense to me, in my mind, and collectively. You know,
Well, I
tell
think
them
there's a
what
lot of people that they could help, but wanting to see the impact.
Yeah.
People are ready to see you in the house, man.
Yeah, you're right. Even the guy
And
that
we
did my
want to
tent.
let them be a part of that.
Yeah.
Even the guy that did my tent yesterday, right? Brett turned me on to a guy that put my.
Yeah.
We was gonna
Steve.
pay. Yeah, we was gonna pay. Brett said I didn't have the money, but Brett was like, "I'll pay it. You pay me back along every 2 weeks when you get paid. We'll get it done." He said, call Steve." He called Steve and told Steve the story, and Steve says, "Send him on down here. I'm gonna do it for him for free."
Yeah, Steve's good people.
Man, I met Steve. Man, Steve telling Steve my story, man, almost made him tear up. He had to take his little shades off and wipe his eyes. He said, man.
Well, Scarlett's his wife, and we graduated high school together.
Wow.
Yeah. She watched y'all when we were in shelter and all that.
Wow. And he said, I was mentioning on live, because I went live to show his shop and what it was doing. And I said, yeah, and I'm in the shelter right now, man, but in a couple of months I'll be converted into my own home, and then I won't be homeless anymore. He's like, and when you do that, I'm going to be there to celebrate with you.
See, and you're going to have a lot of people celebrate. So although we're buying basic furniture, you're still going to need pots and pans and plates and
pictures,
linen for your bed and all this great
Yeah,
stuff and
yeah.
decorating your house. So there's ways that people can come in and help you even after we get you transitioned.
Well, I'm excited.
And this is definitely excited, and I'm glad to be
I'm
part
ecstatic.
Of it. All right, so let's.
Well, man, if we got 100 cashiers to say they would do $25 a month,
Man,
that'd be a couple $1,000 a month.
can I borrow 5?
Yeah, you know you're good. You know you're good for it.
But I'm just saying how doable, and we don't
Yeah.
even need that. We really only need about half that. So, you know, if you can just get 50 to 100 of your cashiers could do from $10 to $25 a month for 12 months, and you could be in a house.
Yeah.
With your daughter, with your grandson. With,
Going live from my own house
with,
in my own
with furniture, you know.
with my own furniture.
Right, and then all those people out there who've been watching you, who are homeless and who are struggling, man, the hope that it would give them,
Yes.
you know, that there's good people out there, would be.
And I'll make a promise right now, right here on camera in real time. Everybody who's willing to get involved and help me in that manner, whatever little it may be, I would be able to guarantee y'all that y'all will have a personal connection with me, because I would need to, you know, let y'all know that y'all are up close and personal with me, other than just putting your money somewhere. I would make sure that y'all will have a direct contact with me, be it by phone or some way that y'all can speak to me ever so often. I ain't gonna say every day now, but you'll be in touch
would be
with
going live in your place and
Yeah.
have your daughter there.
Absolutely.
And we could do this, you know, by November, December, which would be huge.
Sounds like a win.
By Christmas, what a Christmas gift.
What a
wow.
Christmas. And my
Yeah.
birthday too is the December the 19th. What a birthday gift.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, it's all right around there in the same place.
All right.
All right.
Well, we're gonna go handle the water situation while we work on your situation.
Yeah.
Sounds like a win. Y'all see, executive directing and all, they not playing now.
Yeah.
They got a lot of hats on.
All right.
But okay, we're gonna sign off. You know, once again, it's the homie No Cash signing off with a big 10-4. Over and out. Peace and love. Holla at your boy. I am the homie No Cash, and if you really are a cashier or a cashier, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and stay tuned right here on No Cash 843. And if you're trying to keep in touch with me on any of my other social media platforms, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IAM_KNOW_CASH. And if you're trying to listen to any of my singles or new music that I drop, you can follow my Soundcloud at KNOWCA$H. And I do have a ReverbNation, and that's KNOWCASH. Once again, it's the homie No Cash signing off with a big 10-4. Over and out. Peace and love.